Hi, welcome to Pastor Charlie's Toolbox. Got the last of the snow in my yard in this bucket. Nice to be cleaning it up. Nice to know spring is finally coming to the North Country. So, one of the chores I have to do in the springtime is to take the tire chains off my rig here. And tire chains are pretty good for getting traction in the wintertime on snow and ice, but other seasons of the year, they make a real mess of roads, so they have to come off. So what I want to do here is I want to lift this up and then take my free hand and just flip them chains right off the wheels. So let me show you how it's done. I'm getting the feeling you rather doubt I can do this, but I'm pretty sure I can. With a little help from above, this little setup is called the chain hoist, and with it I can hook onto the machine and I can raise it up as high as I want to. You still doubt me? Probably not. You see, once you've seen something actually happen, well then it's not hard to believe at all, is it? And that brings me to today's Bible lesson from John 20, verses 19 to 31. And that's the story of doubting Thomas. You might remember that on the original Sunday, in the evening, Jesus showed up at the disciples' apartment and showed himself to them that he was alive, still is alive. Apparently, though, Thomas wasn't with them on that day. He was out somewhere, social isolating or whatever. But when he returned, Jesus was gone, and the others all said, "Hey, Jesus is alive! This is great!" Needless to say, Thomas didn't believe them. He claimed it was impossible. He'd seen for himself Jesus die and incomplete with the nail holes in his hands and the wound in his side. Just the same as you saw me try to pick up this machine. It just doesn't seem possible. Thomas doubted. And the story goes on to tell us that a week later, the disciples were all gathered together again in one place, and Thomas was with them this time, and Jesus showed up. And Jesus gives Thomas a challenge. He says, "Look here. Here's the holes in my hands. Put your fingers right in them. Touch me where I'm wounded. See that it's real. Go ahead." Needless to say, Thomas didn't need to do either of those things. He just fell on his knees and believed. Sometimes we may wonder just how real Jesus is in our own lives. We may doubt. But although we can't see Jesus' body like Thomas, there can be times, many times, when we can see God at work anyway. Whenever somebody does something wonderful and unexpected for us, you're seeing God at work. Whenever something good happens to us, something we hadn't contemplated before, you're seeing God at work. When you see support for the poor, or the refugee, or people we might usually ignore, you are seeing God at work. And the more we see God at work, the less we're going to doubt. With a little help from above, those doubts are going to melt away like snow in the springtime. So may you look to see God at work in your life.